Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here for video number 2! Video number 2, once again, right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down below in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. So, do it now. Subscribe to my channels. We're almost at 900 subscribers on this channel, about 8 away now, so we're going to get there hopefully by this weekend or by the beginning of October. And then we're on the road to 1,000, hopefully by the end of the year. And we'll see what happens with that. But subscribe right now, hit that like button, hit that, and comment on the video if you like, but all these stupid comments, bye-bye to you. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because if you do, well, fuck you, man! And that's it. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome. Grab yourself a cold one. Put your feet up and enjoy. If not, get out. And go fuck yourself. Well, that's that. Alright. Video number 2, ladies and gentlemen, on the Peter Joseph channel. Check out my all-out thoughts. Just go back a video and watch it. So, right now. So, do it now. And I got a short up there as well, so check it out right here on the channel. And check out my other channels as well, too. Moving on. Alright, got a few minutes away till AEW Dynamite from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The aftermath of All Out. So, we'll talk, so we're getting ready for a little bit, and we'll see what happens with that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time on video number 2 for your WWE NXT Thoughts. You understand? A quick NXT Thoughts video from last night, which was an epic show. The big news out of that, the TNA Invasion happened, and I loved it. It was epic! We'll get to that in a minute. Alright, so we are back at the Capitol Wrestling Center in Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida. And as always, our commentary team, the man with the creepy jacket, lots of candy, Vic Joseph, and the man who needs to stop smoking that weed, because he smokes more weed than you do, the crazy man that he is, the Kool-Aid Man, Booker T, sucker! Oh yeah, man! Oh yeah, man! Alright, so we get that. Alright, so we see Trick Willie Shamon, the TNA champion, coming into the parking lot, and then we see EY, Eric Young, Grandpa Eric Young, and Moose, kind of behind him. And then we see the NXT World Champion, the man from Wakanda, the Rula, Oba, Who, Femi, as he comes into the parking lot. And then we see, woo, 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 you blew it, Matt fucking Cardona in the parking lot. So, the TNA stars are in the building. And that's it. Alright, we got a recap of Homecoming last week, which was epic in itself, with Finn Balor coming back, and Tyler Breeze, and a lot of people, William Regal, and stuff like that. Alright, so we start off with a lights out match with wacky lighting. Weird. So we had Lexis King taking on Miles, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne. Basically, anything goes match with the lights out halfway, but, So we got trash cans, chairs, anything that wasn't not nailed down, nailed down to the CWC, pretty much was used. Miles takes off his belt, starts whipping Lexis King like a freaking slave. Like he's Kunta Kinte, even though he's not black, but it is what it is. Then Miles catapults Lexis into a chair in the corner. Ow! But then Lexis comes right back and tries to Pillmanize his neck on the ring steps, so that don't work. And a spear sends Lexis crashing through the barricade, ow, and then Lexis with a super kick, getting out of trouble, but a DDT planted him on the steps, and it was ouch. And then Miles hits Born Again, that zigzag type maneuver, through the table, and Miles gets the win. 1, 2, 3, and that's pretty much it, Jim. That's it. Under 12 minutes, Miles gets the win in a match. Alright, then we go to Ava Rain's also, where we see Robbie E. and Stevie Turner, the Evolve GM. They're in the office, and Ava puts him in charge because Ava's not there, and then Ava's having phone, her phone's like losing reception. It's like before they can say, "Oh, the teenage stars are here. What are we supposed to do? Did you invite them?" And then Ava's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." What a piece of shit! Basically, so who knows if Ava invited them or not? We guess we'll find out next week. We got a big week there too. Alright, there we see Ego, Ethan Page. He comes out with the Canadian well, he's in the back before he comes out to the ring. He's in the back with the Canadian national title. And Miles, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne, who had just came through his match and looks at Ethan looking at his title. And then as Ethan's going down the hallway, or going towards us, we see Mance Warner and his hot wife Stephanie DeLander behind him. And Ethan Page, like, we even seem to notice. Oh well. Alright, then Ethan Page comes out. He acknowledges Triple Oz El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., who's in the audience, invites him to No Mercy. Well, actually, he was in the audience. And then Page saw him, he's like, "Hey, why don't you get in here, I'll kick your ass." So, we get an impromptu match, which Dr. Wagner, the fake Dr. Wagner, makes Ethan Page tap to the ankle lock, then he unmasks Tavian Heights, and then we get another Canadian title match between them at No Mercy. So I thought it was pretty damn nice, and we get that. Alright, and earlier today we had Jordan Grace, Big Mama Pump, in the women's locker room. Doesn't really think much of Ariana Grace being less than serious, and they get a match coming up together, and nobody cared. We get that. Alright, then we get to the finals of the Speed Tournament for the #1 contender to Sol Ruka's title at No Mercy. We had Lainey Reed from Evolve taking on Candice LeRae, the Pixie Princess. We got a NASCAR driver, Colt Custer or something his name was. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And why is he in my ring? So anyway, he does the, traditional ring announcing. Then we get to the match, which didn't last that long, was a speed match. Ended in 2:26, a 2.5-minute match. Candice locks in the Gargano escape. Lainey somehow got out of that with a fruit roll-up for a near fall. Then he trades some near falls, and then Lainey gets right back up with a Kogayame knee to face. Knocked Candice the fuck out. And Lainey Reed goes to No Mercy to face Sol Ruka for the Speed title. And Speed's like, "I want your soul!" No pun intended, of course. We get that. Alright, after that, we got a video for Ms. Parker. Jada Parker, looking great. Doesn't like Lash Legend. Get shit done. And it says, "I can hit harder, talk louder, and look better." You think? Yeah, Jey Uso knows a thing or two about that, right? Yeet. Alright, so we're going to get a rematch with them, I think, next week on the program. And we move on. Alright, Dynamite's about to start soon. Alright, there we go in the back again. Or we go back in the back. Well, I guess we're still in the back somewhere. Lila Fat Kitty at the Lassie Beach from Ireland meets up with her former friend Tatum Paxley again. Talks about friends possibly being strange, like Bailey. She says, "Nothing is ever your fault, Lyra." And then Lyra says, "I'm glad that you're weird, but constantly weird." And then Izzy Dane, Boogie Hogan 2.0 comes in and says, "Lyra will drop you again, Tatum." And then we see Cedric, I think who was in the back? I think it was Cedric Alexander, and Zachary Wentz. We see a couple more TNA wrestlers. Steve Macklin was there. A lot of people there. Then we see Hank and Spank following, and then a couple other people. So TNA's in the house. And we get that. Alright, after that, we go to Chase U. They're in the catering hall or somewhere. They're, Kel Dixon and Orion Collins apologize to Mr. Chase for what happened last week with Josh Briggs. Mr. Chase said, "It's okay, it's a teachable moment." And he brings in some NASCAR drivers, and then they tease, say his name, and he appears, "I believe in Joe Hendry," that average Joe idiot. So we see Joe Hendry in a, not usual blue shirt. We see Joe Hendry in a race car driver's uniform. So he does his shit, and then Dark State comes in, doesn't think much of Joe Hendry, who's taking over the body of one of the drivers. I didn't give two fucks. And then we're going to get a 6-man tag team match later, where I don't care. I don't care. Got some good matches tonight. AEW Open Challenge match. The Hangman Adam Page giving the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Moriarty a shot. Claudio's in action tonight. Speaking of Hangman, hello. Cowboy shit! After beating Kyle Fletcher at All Out to retain the belt. In the long as fuck 38-minute match. Oh, too long. Alright, so we got a 6-man tag team match coming up on NXT. Alright, then we get to Jordan Grace and Ariana Grace in a Battle of the Graces, and Big Mama Pump won in under 3 minutes. Did I say under 3 minutes? With the spinning torture rack bomb. That was pretty much it. And then Blake Monroe comes out, Mariah May. They start fighting with some weapons and stuff. And then Jordan Grace grabs a chair. They start fighting again. Security comes out. And then Stevie Turner and Robbie E come out. Stevie announces a weapons match. But then Robbie E's like, no, I'm gonna raise the stakes. I'm gonna have a weapons cage match at No Mercy. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get violent. And that's it. Alright, Hangman cuts his promo. And we're gonna start off with our first match of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, Dynamite is live from Schittsburg. And we start off with the new team, the new faction called the Demand of Ricochet. Aha! As he brings out Toa Leona and Bishop Juan. I know not Quan. As they're going to be taking on Brodito, I believe, for the AEW Tag Team titles. That's a wannabe Shield shirt, dude. It looks like the Shield, the oval symbol of the Shield. They just the man with a big D on it. Ricochet has a big D on his chest. Sorry. Alright, so we get that. So, weapons cage match at No Mercy between Big Mama Pump, Jordan Grace, and the lovely Blake Monroe. Oh my. Look at that. Alright, we're in the back. Lainey Reed is ready to beat Sol Ruka for her Speed title. But then, the lovely ladies of Fatal Influence, we got the NXT Women's Champion, Casey Jane. Former woman, Valentino Dawn Henley, and at the time, was still in Fatal Influence, Jasmine Nix. They're there. JC praises Lainey, but she says, I can handle Lola by myself. The rest of the team's like, I don't think so. So she comes out, talks about being champ for over 100 days now, like it or not. She's gotten rid of the labels that people put on her. Like transitional champion, paper champion, blah, 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 blah. Talks about Lola's millions of Instagram followers, but she's not ready to take the belt. JC already shocked the world, and she's the underdog again because nobody believes in her. And no one is going to ruin this for her. And Lola comes out, cuts an amazing promo. I mean, amazing. Talking about her curves, her hips that don't lie, and her hips can be on my dick any day of the week. But I digress. She has that JC doesn't. It's like, I got an ass at least. Ooh. Anyway, Lola talks about growing up over the last year, becoming a professional wrestler. Love that. Being ready to win the belt. And she says, at No Mercy, I will show no mercy, no pun intended. But JC mocks Lola for wanting her family to be proud and says that after I beat you, you're going to be your family's biggest disappointment. Even if it means a broken nose or a broken jaw. And then Lola just like, boom! Spinning back fist knocked JC to hell. She sold that perfectly. Loved it. Alright, so we'll see what happens with that at No Mercy. And, we win. I think Lola will finally win that belt. I'm getting sick of JC Jane. I love her, but it's time to get that title off you. But it is what it is. Alright. Josh Briggs is tired of being told he can't connect with people, because you suck. So he's finally giving up on doing anything but hurting people, like Javon Evans at No Mercy. Big fucking whoop. Alright, then that 6-man tag team match, Dark State taking on, say his name, and he appears, I believe, in average Joe Hendry, and Kel Dixon, and Oriah Collins of Chase U. It was a kind of boring match. I really didn't give two craps about it. We see Mike Santana arriving to the building. I'm like, oh boy, he's the leader of the TNA Invasion, so you know what's happening in the main event between Oba and Trick for both belts. Gonna be some chaos. We got that. It was a pretty decent match. A suplex cuts Dion Lennox off back to Uriah Connors, who manages to kick the, Darkseid down. And then Uriah and Dion are sent into each other. But a knee-to face drops Uriah Connors, and the toss powerbomb gets the win as Shaquan Sugars gets the pin for his team in a little over 11 and a half minutes. Which is a pretty decent match, but could saw it on some other show. But we got that. Alright, then we get a special video for Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks. Going back to New Orleans, at a place where his childhood home was before the hurricane took it. I forgot which hurricane it was. Hurricane Katrina took it away. He's proud to be the one who made it, and he had to because he didn't have any other choice. But the reality is, he believed in himself because there was no one else to believe in him. He's back in New Orleans because it represents everything he's done to get here. Talks about no mercy. It isn't just about winning the belt, but also about proving that he has gotten where he wanted to go. Great promo. Kind of like the same thing with Lola Vice. Like you think they're gonna win the belt, and they do these things that oh, we're gonna win. I don't know if Ricky wins though. I think Lola will win. I don't know about Ricky. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright. Alright, then we got Kelly Kincaid in the back with your boy is bouncy. Javon Evans. He knows Josh Briggs is talking about him, and then we pause because we hear some rattling in the back. We go back to the interview, and then we hear craziness going on again, and we stop, and we go all around the backstage production equipment, and then we see my girl Jasmine Nix was attacked by who? Probably JC Jane and Fallon Henley, who come in and she was damaged goods anyway. And that's the last we saw of Jasmine Nix because she has pretty much is gone from NXT. Her contract expired. She did not want to renew it because they didn't offer her enough money. She's like, no, I don't want the money. It's not financially right for me. Blah 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 blah. So Jasmine Nix is now a free agent. So she has left Fatal Influence, and I can only imagine that Fallon's next. So JC's gonna be on her own island pretty soon. Yeah, I hope Jasmine gets back on her feet pretty soon. Maybe she goes to TNA. Maybe she goes to AEW / Ring of Honor, or she just goes back to her soccer stuff in Iceland or whatever she was talking about on her video today. Sucks. But it is what it is. She was kind of injury prone too, so I think WWE is like, you know what? Can't have you, you can't be here if you're getting injured all the time. The whole, the girl that looked like Rainbow Bright. Not Rainbow Bright, what's her name? I forgot her name, but she kept getting injured with her leg every freaking month almost. But we move on. Alright, then we get to our main event of NXT. Title for title, Trick Willie taking on Oba Femi. And we see Mike Santana come down from the crowd to be on commentary. Trick did not like it. We saw EY Eric Young, Indy Hartwell, Peyton Royce, and Billy Kay of the Installation. Steve Macklin. A lot of TNA stars in the crowd. And they went at it for almost 12 minutes. Getting in the end, a big ending. Hey, Big E gives Oba a near fall, so Trick kicks him in the face for another near fall. Get back up, and Oba sends Trick flying. Excuse me. He sends him flying, goes for a fall from Grace, gets counted into a fruit roll-up for a near fall. On the second attempt at the fall from Grace, Oba hits it for a near fall as more TNA wrestlers come down, like Mance Warner and, a few other people, like Cedric Alexander and, blah, blah, blah. Also, Isaiah Lee and Isaiah Brookside, the Angel Warriors were shown. We got that. So then Trick goes to the, Trick and Oba slug it out. They head to the outside, where Trick goes right after Mike Santana, slaps him in the face, and then the fight is on. The referee calls for the bell as, Victor's like, hey! So you knew it was going to be a no contest. So both men keep their titles. So Ricky will take on Oba at No Mercy. Trick will take on Mike Santana at Bound for Glory. So big old brawl. The NXT invasion has started. Both locker rooms come out for a big humongous brawl. The men and the women come out, beat the crap out of each other. And then we see Ricky Starks come out and just go around the entire ring of chaos and grabs the NXT title. But then we see Oba stand up, grabs his belt, and then they have a stare down to end the show while everybody's fighting. That visual was great. So big ups to the cameraman, big ups to, Mr. Shawn Michaels on that one. So the NXT invasion is here, ladies and gentlemen. I can only imagine what's going to happen tomorrow night on TNA Wrestling. Going to be epic. So, and only imagine what's going to happen at Victory Road this Friday. And maybe at No Mercy. So the next 3 days are going to be very interesting for NXT and TNA. So, going to be amazing. Can't wait for that. Alright, guys. Pretty good. It was a pretty good NXT with the invasion. My final rating is 8.25 out of 10 stars. A great NXT is going to go down in the books. It's going to be put in the annals of history. And that's that. Alright, leave me your thoughts and opinions about NXT last night with TNA. Getting involved. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's it. Alright, Bro Dito is getting their butts kicked right now by the Gates of Agony. So see what happens with the AEW Tag Title match. And a whole lot more tonight. Don't forget Tony Khan's special announcement, whatever that's going to be. So we're going to get ready for that. Probably sometime later tonight. Hangman Adam Page and Lee Moriarty tonight. And then AEW World Title Open Challenge. So a title match tonight with Hangman and Lee Moriarty. Mina versus Chris Cakelander for the TBS title. And we got the return of Breakfast Squeeze Orange Juice, Orange Cassidy. Maybe more with Moxley and Darby. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. Until next time. Peace.